another bang. All the Muslim cars now, with your bag it up. Light up my card with a sweet one bliss. Someone flicks me a bag it up. Say, oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah. It's a full strand, yeah. Oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah.
What's going on, people? Abbas here from iBoxingHub, bringing you some big breaking news. We weren't expecting this. We all thought it was plain sailing, but Fury versus Usyk is now officially off or postponed, as they like to say. And I guess first things first, we're live, so drop in all your comments, give us your instant reactions, well, like I am going to give mine as well. And I think the first thing we've got to say is it's just disappointment. Disappointment for boxing fans, disappointment for just people all over the world that are just interested in combat sport, because this wasn't just a normal fight. This was undisputed. And obviously we had this initially going to happen in December. That unfortunately got called off because of what happened with the outcome of Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury, and it was penciled in for February. Just climaxing to the end of Riyadh season as well. We had Francis Ngannou versus Joshua coming in March. February, we were meant to have this fight. And now, unfortunately, due to a cut in training camp, about 2.5 weeks out, we now have this fight cancelled. And yeah, as I said, it's just super disappointing. You saw what, literally just before this as well, you saw the trailer that Saudi Arabia had put out. His Excellency had put all his money into one basket, all the eggs in one basket, as they say. And this was going to be that blockbuster event that the global world was going to put the eyes on Saudi Arabia. And now, unfortunately, Tyson Fury has to pull out. And it just begs to believe that, are we ever going to get this particular fight? I personally, as I said, don't know if we're going to get this fight now going forward. And like I said, the comments are flowing in as well. We've got Philip here saying, typical Tyson Fury. And do you know what? As someone who praised himself as a man of the people, this just looks really bad on him. The conversation always used to be, is Fury ducking? Is Fury ducking? And I never wanted to buy into that. I always thought, no, Fury isn't ducking, but there's other options. And then, as we always say in boxing, once everyone's fought everybody, the stars align, and we do get that mega fight. And unfortunately, we're here. We're at that crossroads again, 2 to 3 weeks out, and we don't have that mega fight anymore. And when you look back, as I mentioned about what Saudi Arabia have invested when it comes to Queensberry promotion, when it comes to boxing in general, especially the heavyweight division, this stinks. Like, there's no other particular way, in shape or form to say it. This it just stinks. Frank Warren, he's going to have to answer a lot. I know behind the scenes, they won't necessarily, I mean, in front of the camera, they won't necessarily say it, but yes, there's going to be a lot for him to question about this. They put their stocks in his guy, and he's let them down one more time. And another thing you've got to now say is, when it comes to Fury and Usyk, will always get their money. And we'll talk about what Usyk is going to be doing soon as well. But we always say, when a fight gets cancelled, especially if the card doesn't go ahead, the undercard and the fighters there, they put a lot of money into training camps that they may not necessarily receive. Now, on the plus side, what seems to look like it's going forward on for this fight is that we are going to be getting Usyk versus Sergeyevich. And look, I'm not against fighters fighting. I respect it. But the shine just goes off this so much more compared to what it was. As I mentioned before, we had everything in terms of the big promotional side of things. The trailer that came out, it wasn't just a trailer for a normal fight. This was a blockbuster trailer. This is what you see in Hollywood. And now we just go back to, unfortunately, normality. And that's not what we want. But we always say, we have it all the time, even in the UFC as well, where, look, fights get cancelled and it's a bummer. But when the one fight that stops the world gets cancelled twice, it takes a big shine from it, and it starts putting into question, do we have that boxing problem where no matter what type of money is thrown, we just won't get certain fights? Yes, we ended up getting a fight like Mayweather Pacquiao back in the day, but again, it was a fight that came too late. Now, when it comes to this particular fight, with what the outcome looks like it's going to be, is it's going to be rescheduled in the summer. And when it looks like in the summer, probably going to be after Bivol versus Better BF as well, going into the new Riyadh season, as they call it. And the hype will still be there. But my only issue is now we're going to have the heavyweight division on hold yet again for this particular fight. And obviously, the initial plan looked like it was going to be a case of these two fight. Then whatever happens, the outcome, either the belts get spread or we look into other fights as well. We got another comment coming in here as well. And yeah, Fury needs to drop the WBC belt. He doesn't want the fight. And I kind of agree with that as well. I'm a fan of both guys. I'm a fan of this idea that fighters do want to fight each other. But again, two fights now, two potential fights you've pulled out. Your main fighter on your resume is Deontay Wilder, and I love Deontay Wilder as well. But when you see what happened to Deontay Wilder against Joseph Parker, see the fact that you've again pulled out. The December fight didn't happen. Then the February fight doesn't happen. We're now looking at summer. It gives that off that, are you really a people's fighter, or is that just your persona? Because right now it does look like your persona going forward. As for what will happen going forward, as I mentioned before, it looks like Hrgović is going to step up and fight Oleksandr Usyk. And if I'm Hrgović, like, look, the opportunity was always going to be there. Do you want to take the opportunity now? Or do you want to wait it out? At the end of the day, you don't have to take this fight. But if you take it, potentially you will lose, I reckon, personally, because you can't fight Oleksandr Usyk on 3 weeks' notice. It's just one of them things that if you pull it off, it's a bit of a miracle. But yeah, just looking at this comment as well, I swear if Fury doesn't go ahead with the fight, whether he's scheduled for June or goes to fight another gimmick fight, he needs to get booted out of boxing. Harsh take, but one that's also understandable, because if you really think about it, look, I love influencer boxing. That's one different step. But if you start taking gimmick fights or you pull out again, you're in the twilight of your career. There's only so much you can handle before we call it a day. And we've seen with Tyson Fury in the past where he said, look, I want to retire from boxing. We know what happened with Klitschko. We never got that rematch fight with Klitschko. Then what happened with Tyson Fury, and to get back to the stage he was, is very impressive. But it's interesting because you don't normally hear stories from camps. But what you start hearing and certain murmurs in this particular camp was Fury wasn't up to it. Fury got dropped in training. And now we see the cut. And it just gives you that other indication that, is Tyson Fury mentally in this? Is he ready for these type of fights anymore? Because for me, if I look at Tyson Fury, look, you've accomplished what you've accomplished and it's fine. It's great. It's excellent, sorry. But the big fights, the legacy-defining fights, we don't know if we're going to get them. Now, I've got my man Ray. He's trying to join in as well. So look, let me get him in if he's ready to go. Ray, you there?
Yes. Give me a sec and let me say this right now.
Listen.
How long have I been telling you about this guy? I told you, you even came in a group chat and said, Ray has been saying it. I've been telling you about this guy and no one wanted to heed me when I was telling you about him. And look what he's gone and done. This lighting's a bit mad, but bear with.
Yeah, listen, we're live. This is unfiltered as it gets, because we never expected this was meant to be a quiet Friday evening. We were toasting into Buatsi versus Aziz, and now we just got this. Like, can you, out of 10, like your belief level of this fight going happen? I know you always say this, until the ring walk happens, I'm not buying into it. Did you believe that we were gonna ever be in this position where this fight wasn't gonna happen?
I'm going to apologize for the language, because I don't know if you saw him before this, but in the words of Nate Diaz, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Listen, there's nothing when it comes to that guy that will surprise me when it comes to this type of stuff. Because what do I believe that he probably got cut? Yes.
No, we've seen the picture. We've seen the picture now. It's circulating.
Yeah, it could be an old picture, but I'm not going to say it's an old picture. What I will say is this: there was the rumors that he was getting had up in training, and this might just be a culmination of like whatever happened. I don't even understand why he's not wearing headgear. How is he getting cut like that? And if he was wearing headgear, how are you getting cut like that?
On top of your eyes, yeah, let's just get a quick comment in as well, because I'm gonna echo yours as well. Paloma's music,
Yeah.
What a load of shit with the emoji essentially, and it is like, I said it before when I was just rambling myself. In terms of this now for Frank Warren, how much pressure is this putting on him? Because that's twice his guys dropped out. And we know Saudi, they put the money, but then they want something back in return. And they would have put the production behind this as well. How frustrating is this going to be first for Saudi? But then also when they look at Frank and be like, as much as you might have a marquee guy, can we really work with you to let us down again?
Listen, injuries happen, cuts happen, so they can't be too angry. I think the only saving grace for Fury is that most of his shenanigans that he normally does with other promoters and everything, he's not done with the Saudis. So it's not going to look as bad because he's conducted himself correctly when it comes to them. However, like I said, when it comes to Fury, you just can't surprise me when it comes to this stuff. You just can't. There's something about him that he's just prone to something happening when it comes to his fights. And here we are, it's happened again. It's unfortunate. It's probably good for him because he's got time now to actually get in shape, because obviously there was the whole rumor of like he's getting held up in training camp's not going too well. So he's probably going to use this time to do a pre-training camp into his training camp, because you know he's infamous for letting himself go in between. And to be fair, he jokes about himself. And I feel like the Ngannou fight might be a precursor to where things are going for Fury, where it's just like you cheat the game so much in regards to how you carry yourself outside of training camp in terms of lifestyle. Eventually will catch up to you. And I think this is just the game catching up to him in regards to lifestyle.
Look, the crop of heavyweights right now, they're not spring chickens. And that brings me to this comment as well, these two comments for Paloma's Music. Look, no AJ fight next, Fury might retire. Do you think we're going to get the fight in June then? Or is it a case of, look, we might never get this undisputed fight?
No, we're going to get the fight. We will absolutely get the fight. Do not get that twisted.
We will get one from this then. So just got if you said the IBF may order Usyk versus Hrgovic, that seems like what they want to do in the next few weeks, just to make sure the card doesn't fully collapse. Other sanctioning bodies might follow. Undisputed dead. Then we get more. Fight Usyk.
You know when I think the fight might happen? The proposed card for Better Beef and Bivol, that's when they might do the fight. They might do double header of Usyk versus Fury plus Bivol versus Better Beef, and you've got an even greater. That's even greater. And I'm sure that you know what I feel sorry for? The undercard, because those two at the top are guaranteed their millions regardless. This will get rescheduled and they'll get their millions. The undercard, they may not all make it to the next undercard, and they're going to be pissed because it's like that's their big, their big payday for a lot of them. And then now that card's probably going to get scrapped because obviously the rest of the card wasn't so great for them to carry on. I think, did I have Parker Zhang? Was that signed or not yet?
No, I don't. I think that's been signed, but I think that's with AJ
and Ngannou.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad, but yeah.
Would you be open to having Hrgovic step in such short notice to fight Usyk? Because I think that's what they might do.
Actually, do you know what?
Because I can't see Usyk backing out fully. Because look, he's been in training camp. He's been doing the rounds whilst Fury took the gimmick fight against Ngannou. In the background, Usyk was training all the way long. So you know what? At the same time, he's in shape.
He might just do that.
But is
I don't know if it'll be a pay-per-view, but yeah, he might just take. Do you know why as well? Because sometimes it's like, let me just get this mandatory out of the way. Hrgovic, from my understanding, is a mandatory, so it might just be a thing of, let me face Hrgovic, get out of the way, and if he's smart, just in case, that's when Usyk puts in the rematch clause, just to ensure that my opportunity don't slip out. So I think, yeah, why not? When was the fight meant to be? Wait, hold up. Was the fight meant to be? Oh wait, the fight meant to be next month or the end of this month?
Fury.
Yeah.
It was 17th, so in literally 3 weeks' time. About 2 to 3 weeks.
He's not fighting Hrgovic. No.
Do you think they'll completely scrap everything?
Yeah. It would be nice to if If Usyk is up for it, it would be nice too. But I don't think with so much on the line, even if Usyk might be on it and his team might just say, "We're going to protect you from yourself. We're not doing this." Because Hrgovic is probably thinking, "There's nothing for me to." Actually, no.
There
This
is
is where you get check as well. Wait, was Hrgovic meant to fight on this card?
I don't believe so. I might be wrong. I think he was meant to fight on Joshua's card as well.
But here's the thing with Hrgovic as well. Hrgovic might also look at it like, do I want to risk maybe my one shot on short notice? Because it's like, are you really going to get rewarded for, coming back and then saving a card? Because sometimes you do get rewarded. Sometimes promoters might be like, cool, I remember you stepped in to save us. And then other times it's just like, you stepped in, yeah, that was nice, thank you, but go back down the line.
Because I was going to say, to your point, obviously the last time I can remember Hrgovic fighting in terms of value or what was when he fought Zhang, got that decision that people look back and be like, that actually made Zhang more in the limelight by losing. It could have that similar effect if he puts in somewhat of a performance against Usyk.
I believe it's different though, only because they thought that Zhang won. So it's not like there's a difference between. Because imagine if Hrgovic takes the fight, and then just gets schooled. Then it's
like
just
Arthur when he fought against Bivol, kind of thing. Yeah, it was just like you didn't really go for it. You got the opportunity, but you didn't go for it.
No, the thing is, but that one's even more different because with Arthur, well, one, we all said it, he looked going into the ring like he got injury, but that's Saudi money. But then two, it was a thing of like, he wasn't expected to be the big challenge to Bivol. He wasn't a number one ranked guy who people are knocking on the door saying Bivol needs to face this guy. But Hrgovic isn't the guy that's knocking on the door, but he is the number one contender in the IBF ranking. So it depends. It kind of reminds me of a situation in UFC a couple years back where Leon, I think when it was the pandemic year, 2020, and then I think, was it Usman was meant to face Gilbert, and then Gilbert either got injured or something happened, and then the UFC was just like, all right, cool Leon to step in. And I think at the time, obviously, it was like COVID, gyms are shut down. And then Leon was just like, I'm not taking my one shot on, short notice without proper training. And I think Hrgovic might also see it like that, where it's just like, this might be my one and only shot. If I'm doing this, I have to do it properly. I'm not going in there on oh yeah, why not? Lucky go me. Because when you get to that level, you have to be calculated, especially when you're not the cash cow. You can't just take fights and be like so reckless. So I doubt it would be nice. I'd like Hrgovic to step in, but I'm not expecting it.
Do you know what, though? Just quickly, I got a couple more comments before we wrap up this impromptu live. It's all dead in the water. We get the emojis coming out as well. Keep the reactions coming in. Look, the rest of the team will also be doing their videos as well, breaking down what we've just heard. But just quickly, I want to get your view on this as well, because we've talked about the money side of it. DAZN, you had TNT, Sky came in. Everyone was here for this.
They're pissed. Sky must be fuming because TNT and DAZN have been eating off this. Sky, for whatever reason, the Saudis just said, yeah, Sky, you can have a crumb too. And then now Sky's probably looking at it like, we get screwed over this and Boxer's still not producing like how we need it to produce.
Boxer slander hits.
Listen, shout out the fights tomorrow. Yeah. Waxy versus Aziz tomorrow should be fun, but I know Sky Sports is fuming for sure.
Let's just get this quick comment in before we wrap up this impromptu live. I really rated Fury for all the struggles he's had, but now we realize he can't get into Usyk's head and bully him. Good point. Like, Fury's known to be able to do that, and this time it just seemed like there was not really anything moving Usyk.
The whole mind game things from Fury always used to say it's overrated. He's just more annoying than it is quote unquote mind games. It's not smart. It's just more, he annoys you to the point where you want to hurt him more. But I don't think it's as sophisticated as some people think it is. I think it's just more like he knows he's annoying it's not some sophisticated mind games. It's not like other trash talkers where like they were elite trash talkers. It weren't like Conor McGregor for Aldo or Muhammad Ali in his prime. No, it's just him just being annoyed and repeating the same bars, repeating the same bars to someone who appears to not have like the same grasp of English, which, to be fair, we don't know. He acts like he doesn't know as much English, but I'm sure he probably does. But why bait up that I know so much? Let me just act like I don't understand what you're saying, because that's also happened in the past. It's happened. I've seen that happen in the past where certain fighters were English not their first language, and someone's trash talking them, and they're just like, for a translator, they're like, you can keep trash talking me. I don't understand what you're saying, so I don't care.
Do you know what? We're going to just quickly wrap up. Like I said, this wasn't something that was planned. We were all ready for tomorrow and then looking forward to it in a few weeks' time. Ray, appreciate you for quickly just jumping on as well.
I just got home.
I knew this was something that you're going to hone in on straight away.
Listen,
and
man,
guys, appreciate you guys as well for logging in, tuning in. Like I said, the rest of the team will do all their weekly shows and they'll give their views on this as well. And just a quick shout out to our sponsors as well, D-Rock Clothing. Again, go onto the website, type in iBoxingHub24, get yourself 40% off. We're going to quickly wrap this up. Ray, final words on this travesty.
This is a petty callback, but if you watch Stay Weighed In from the weigh-in days, you understand this. Ashanti, this is your boy. Just remember, Ashanti, if people know about old school episodes, they know what I'm speaking about. Ashanti, this is your boy. And I told you about your boy all them years ago. But that's all I'll say for now.
So as always, guys, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, get involved with the conversation as well. Even after this, we'll drop all your comments, hit us up on Twitter, and again, keep locked into the iBoxing Hub YouTube page. And until next time, guys, stay weighed in.